My name is Ryan Bray, and I want to invite you on my adventure in Cuba as I share in its vast culture, intriguing society, and breathtaking geography in my weekly podcast. You are surely not to be disappointed.
Something struck me last night, something I saw. Last night would have been around 11 o'clock, midnight, and we decided that we were hungry and we wanted to go out for street pizza, something that I will probably touch on in another podcast. But we were walking down the street, and a concert, a street party, mostly it looked like for young people, had just ended. Waves of people, thousands of people were walking down the street. And before, the main crowd kind of hit, we were walking down and just by Hotel Santiago, we saw a man with crutches, only one leg, laying on the street, on the sidewalk. I come from the country, so I don't see many things like this. So it was something to see. So we decided to leave him in peace, and as we were walking away, there was a group of people, a lot of people around at this time, and this one individual, this one Cuban young male, took his shoe off and started hitting the man in the face with his shoe, yelling at him in Spanish or something. It didn't look very aggressive. It looked like it was more of a wake up, you're drunk, or come on now. I don't think he meant him any real harm, but maybe, from what I got, maybe kind of showing off to his friends. There's three of us there at the moment, Connor, Ben, and I, and none of us particularly liked what was going on. So we quickly discussed, should we say something, what should we do? And not being from this culture, it was hard to know what to do, but quickly we made the decision just to make our presence known. So we all went close to where the man was being bugged and just stood there and all very carefully watched the man who was, trying to wake up the guy on the street. And the guy continued going on, but I think once he realized that we were actually very intensely watching him, he looked up at us, and I caught his eyes, and he'd realized what he was doing, and he ventured off, which was a good thing to do. By this point, the man had woken up, the man on the street had woken up, and at first I was wondering, well, maybe I'll help this guy get up, so he can move on, go back home. But as soon as he woke up, without missing a beat, he was reaching out his hands to everybody walking by for money, asking for money very quickly. Nobody was giving him anything. One individual gave him half a Mickey of rum, and that's all I saw actually receive in the few minutes that we were there. But it's interesting to think about this situation, because if you saw something like that in Canada, a legless man on the street begging for money, you know that he doesn't have a place to stay, he doesn't have food to eat. But here in Cuba, everyone's provided for. Now, I don't know if everyone's actually provided for, but the theory is that everybody has a place to stay, and everyone has food, at least enough to get by. So when you see beggars on the street, you think, are they doing this just because they have a want for something? Want for alcohol, better food, better living facilities, or is it because of need? And it's the question that I'd like to get to the bottom to. Is there people out there with actual needs in Cuba? Or is it just them exploiting people and trying to get people to pity them because in Canada, you know, it's obviously people doing this, it's a need and not a want. So, and maybe really think twice about these people on the street and just really what they need, really, and what they want.